Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about why TikTok is not going to get banned. So this is top thoughts. So I keep getting the question coming up in terms of like whether it's current brands I work with, prospects, and just people in general just saying about, okay, it looks like TikTok is going to get banned. And the reason for this in terms of the kind of narrative is because, as you can imagine, the media kind of blows up everything to make it obviously sound and seem worse than it is. And this is not the first time. I remember obviously last year, pretty much similar kind of time, this time around last year I should say, and obviously in 2020. So this narrative is not going away. And what seems to be happening in terms of like US is obviously worried about the data and everything, and basically saying China, look, you can't be kind of running TikTok the way you're kind of doing it if you want to kind of be obviously utilizing our users. So some people do think that TikTok will eventually have to get sold. It is obviously an option, but realistically, I just don't think that is going to be the case. I feel like how TikTok is kind of playing this out is that they know obviously this is very unlikely, and I wrote a post on LinkedIn a couple of days ago about this as well, because there's a few reasons why I don't think it's going to happen. I've got my notes here, so if I'm looking to the side, that'll be the reason why. So if that's the case, why all of a sudden would this ban all of a sudden come into play? Because like I say, Congress and tech getting stuff banned has not really happened previously. So I think that alone is a catalyst to kind of say, okay, yes, there's all talks about it. And the thing is as well, okay, this was happening last year, but then kind of happened, because what kind of happens is it's a big buzz about it, and then obviously attention moves to something else, different scenario, and that seems what happened. So I think that's obviously an interesting point, that in terms of Congress hasn't really done anything to any other kind of tech companies in the past. What's going to make this scenario any different? So that's the first thing. And the second thing, again, it's always interesting where people's opinions shift, and obviously Trump's obviously a big part of obviously this whole debate, because obviously previously when he was obviously president, he was obviously saying yes, we want to get TikTok banned. And now I think he's kind of changed his tone. Now he's kind of quote unquote saying in terms of like, we don't want to ban TikTok because obviously it's going to give Meta too much power, too much strength. And I think the reason why he's saying that is because obviously if he does become president again, I think he wants to be the person that is going to be able to get TikTok banned. That's kind of what his kind of play is on this kind of thing. So again, people are going to and fro in terms of this, and with that, that's why I do feel that there's definitely a reasoning why that is going to continue to go back and forth, and there's going to be a lot of like confusion and obviously talk and like a lot of blurred line in terms of what's going to actually happen. And then, but the main thing which I believe, and again when I was looking into this, is it's quite interesting because I didn't know how much he actually owned, but obviously Jeff Yass, who's obviously like an original investor in TikTok, obviously ByteDance, back all the way in 2012, I think his actual stake is 15%, which obviously is worth 15 billion. So imagine someone like that who's got so much wealth in terms of in TikTok, and obviously he's quite a big political donor. I think he's obviously donated it already in 2024 over 46 million already. So with that being the case, would someone like him, would his narrative be, okay, let's get TikTok banned, when he has so much wealth in the actual the platform, the company itself? So you've got to always look and read between the lines. And obviously money goes where money flows, and the fact is like money also talks. So if people obviously have got money invested, they're going to obviously have different thoughts in terms of if TikTok should be banned. So I think that's obviously a really massive thing that should happen. So realistically, right now, I'm not losing any sleep on this. Like I say, obviously, as you probably know, like a majority of what we do is TikTok, whether it's organic growth, TikTok shop, which is quite massive now. So I'm not losing any sleep of it. And it was funny that I even remember that this time last year, my dad also said to me, like, oh, what happens is TikTok is banned. So I feel like the fact is when people start to hear from the media, it just starts to obviously snowball a lot more. So I think that's obviously what's happening again now. And I do personally think that even if it was, let's say, worst case scenario was to get banned, it's not going to happen overnight, because what will happen is, if anything happens in terms of platform, it won't literally say you got TikTok obviously on your device. It won't remove it. What happened first, and again, this is if it does happen, it would have to be removed from obviously the App Store first. But then the question is, okay, are Apple, are obviously Google going to want to remove that, and obviously then start to anger, quote unquote, in terms of China, when they've got such a great connection from that side of things as well? So again, it's then that kind of side of things. Will that also happen? And even if that is the case, let's say they do ban it, there's still going to be ways around it. If you've got it on your phone currently, you can use VPNs, you can obviously do different things. There's obviously countries right now that obviously TikTok's already banned in and people are still using it there. So again, it's not going to be just obviously TikTok's banned and gone forever. So that's the thing. And that's also the reason why I think TikTok won't sell, because they know that obviously people are going to find ways around it. And again, I keep going back to it, if it does sell, they've obviously got appeals. I think it'll take like 6 months, but they've got obviously appeals. They can obviously then legal battles, and obviously it's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. So yes, there's obviously uncertainty with this, but what I'm saying to people working with in brands right now, I'm saying don't look too far ahead. And this is always the issue in terms of to educate people around TikTok, is don't think too far ahead in terms of what may happen. Okay, take it as it is now in terms of like TikTok Shop is making brands, do you know what I mean, 6-7 figures overnight by just getting TikTok Shop right. You're organic, you can obviously become a hit in terms of like just posting stuff and going viral. So I'm saying don't literally just think, okay, I'm going to stop kind of focusing on TikTok, because again, you got to remember as well, Meta's gone through so much in terms of obviously the privacy, in terms of obviously the data leaks, in terms of obviously tracking when it comes to ads as well, but people didn't remove themselves from that platform, and obviously Meta is still going, obviously there's fines, slap on the wrist, all that kind of stuff, but people are still spending on that platform. So this is what I kind of think. So my 2 cents, I'm literally not losing any sleep over it. If you ask my opinion, I don't think it's going to go away. So literally I would say literally continue to focus on the platform, doing what you're doing, and like I say, you'll reap the rewards for it. So that's my thoughts. Again, I'll be keen to obviously get your thoughts in the comments below as well, if you think it is going to be, whether you're pro TikTok or against TikTok. It'd be good to know. And at the same time, look in the links below, obviously subscribe. I'm doing these top thoughts more often because I think they're really useful. Subscribe to the newsletter where I obviously break down more TikTok strategies as well. But yeah, this is obviously the debacle that's going to continue, and like I say, hopefully once this kind of does go out, I'll obviously create another top thoughts around this as well. But until then, stay safe, and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care.